Hello and warmly welcome to our TrueCommerce webinar today about EDI and e-invoicing excellence for SAP S4HANA. In case you have any question or things you want to tell us, just type it in the chat or question function in GoToWebinar and we will answer them at the end. And now I introduce my two colleagues, Jacques Vigneault and Alan Kai. It's for you now.
Thank you so much, Catherine. I'll introduce myself and let my colleague Alan introduce himself as well. My name is Jacques Vigneault, and I am responsible for our channel team globally. I am North American, but I'm based in Munich, Germany. And I've been working with the SAP channel for a very, very long time, and I'm very, very excited about the announcement we've made recently with our S4HANA Public Edition adapter. And with that, I'll turn it over to my colleague Alan to introduce himself.
Thank you. My name is Alan Kay. I'm pre-sales engineer here at TrueCommerce. My specialties is our integrations for SAP. So I'm happy to be here today.
Excellent. Thank you so much, Alan. And so I'll be going through a number of things. We'll see a very, very short video that Alan was kind enough to record for us of the solution. And if you have any business or technical question, we're here to answer them. First thing I want to talk about is obviously the fact that we are brought here to discuss S4HANA and specifically the public cloud edition. And the reason there's a little SAP Business One logo is just to mention that although our focus is S4 today, we have done quite a bit of work with SAP Business One, its partners, its customers, and even the same with SAP Business by Design. That being said, today we'll focus on the Public Cloud Edition solution and the fact that it's really an end-to-end solution, which I'll define here in the next few slides. Also, what I'd like to discuss is the fact that we've actually revamped our partner program in the last year and a half. TrueCommerce has been a partner-friendly company for a very, very long time, but we felt our partner program needed a bit of a refresh. And although a lot of us have been doing this for a long time, we decided not to cut corners, and we decided to interview a lot of our top partners to figure out exactly what they were looking for. And here are some of the conclusions from this. The first things our partners were very, very clear, and they were unanimous on this. They said, take care of my customer. There is nothing that's more important than us basically making sure that we are responding promptly, we are reactive, we are concise, and very, very knowledgeable when you as a partner introduces us to either your customer or your potential customer. This holds true not only in the sales process, including Alan's department, which is really pre-sales and sales engineering. This also holds true when you're working with our direct sales team, with our implementation teams, and then obviously with our support team. This is our priority number one, and we have heard the partners loud and clear. Second of all, every company on the planet is looking for recurring revenue. We are the same, nothing different there. And so what we do is obviously when you introduce this to your customer or your potential customer, we make sure there is a financial reward for you. And that financial reward is 100% recurring. So we've also heard that loud and clear, and that is an integral part of our partner program. Number three, I thought was very, very interesting. Our common customers and all of us are looking for more and more content. And we understand sometimes as a partner, that component can be a little bit difficult to satisfy. And so we are willing to help in any way necessary. We're willing to obviously present to your customers, topics that are of relevance. We're willing to sponsor some of your events, either customer events or even internal events. We're willing to co-market in any way possible, whether it be webinars like this one, whether it be attending industry-specific events. At the end of the day, we're willing to provide some content. We have a very strong marketing team that produces a lot of very relevant content. And you're actually going to see some of this in this presentation a little bit later, where we talk about a very, very European topic that is obviously becoming global, which is e-invoicing and in some cases continuous tax compliance. And so we'll discuss that, and that is an example of a topic that we're more than willing to share with your employees, but also with your customer base. Lastly, and we get this, you guys want leads. And we are in a unique position to actually be able to produce some leads. I'll give you guys some examples. Some of our clients are large retailers. So think some of the large food and beverage retailers in the UK. It could be also, hardware, furniture retailers, either in DACH or in the Nordics. It could be apparel retailers as well. So some of those are our customers. And what that means specifically is they bring all of their suppliers to our solution. When we approach these suppliers, obviously we're focused on the EDI needs and e-invoicing needs. But we do ask the ERP question. We ask them very specifically, what is your ERP situation? We do not implement ERP. We do not sell ERP. So if their response lends itself to being an interesting lead for an ERP provider, we will gladly ask them for permission, and with permission, introduce them to partners such as yourselves, because obviously we know that if you win, we win as well. And so we have a unique business model. These were 4 priorities. There were others, but we've basically made sure that we've integrated all of these to our partner program. TrueCommerce is not a startup company, but we still have the agility and the flexibility of a growing company. And so we're all over the world. We've got very strong presence in Europe with over 300 employees, offices in the UK and Ireland, in Denmark and in Belgium, and also an office in Germany, which is where I'm based. Alan is based in our Danish office. And we've got every discipline represented in all of these offices. So that includes, channel, sales, pre-sales, implementation, and support, to be able to support in local language, but at the same time have the support of our colleagues globally. There are a couple of data points that I want to emphasize here on this slide. The first one is the second on the left, which says 180,000 connected companies. So these are basically companies that we are trading with on a daily basis for our customers. The last one is the last box, which not only do we have direct connection and trading with 180 companies, but our networks and their interconnects, because we are a tier 1 network, allow us to access over 1 million companies via the network. These numbers are growing on a monthly basis because our customers are asking for new connections on a monthly basis. And so this is a very important piece of our solution. And that goes beyond just the integration to the ERP, but that obviously allows our customers and your customers to connect with the outside world seamlessly. If I have to summarize this point, what I would say is that when you bring either your customer or your potential customer to us, there's a high likelihood that the companies they want to trade with from an EDI or e-invoicing standpoint are basically already part of our network. That in itself brings a lot of advantages. Excuse me. Think speed of implementation, understanding of their requirements, eventually think of speed of support, so on and so forth. So big advantage of having this already connected network of companies. So TrueCommerce and what we do, and this is very important. This is the definition of end-to-end. This is the differentiator with a lot of companies out there that basically play in our space. Number one is we are a managed services, cloud-based EDI company. This is something that I like to repeat quite a bit. With this amazing move to the cloud for ERP, having on-premise EDI simply doesn't make sense. Having cloud-based EDI is absolutely natural with cloud-based ERP. And on top of that, the managed services component encompasses a lot of things. But if I boil it down, basically, it boils down to the fact that we will make sure that documents are getting to and from destination. The middle piece is the reason we're all here. We are essentially connected because of a channel ecosystem. So in this case, SAP, and specifically S4 Public Cloud Edition. So what we've done is we've developed an EDI integration for S4, which I will show a short video here in a few minutes. And that integration has been certified by SAP. It's been developed in collaboration with SAP as well. And so for you as a partner, you know that once that adapter is implemented, You are free of any data collision. You know that it will work with not only today's version, but as the ERP continues to evolve, it'll work as well, and so on. The last piece we touched on before, and I will continue to repeat it because it is a huge differentiator for us, is we have the network. So now when you take those three components, we not only have the integration to the ERP, we have the network to the rest of the world, and on top of that, we have the service that overlays over it. I'll talk about some of the additions with e-invoicing and tax compliance in a few minutes, but in terms of S4 Public Cloud Edition, we are the first EDI provider to be able to offer all of this basically certified with SAP, and we're very, very proud of that. It's interesting also to look at industry. So when we have a one-on-one conversation with you, our partner, we try to figure out how we can help you best. And in some cases, it could be us trying to bring business to you for sure. But also are those four pillars that I talked at the beginning, is to take a look at content. A lot of content will be driven by the industries that you serve. And at the same time, the industries you serve also give us a great hint in terms of our expertise and how we can help you in those conversations. As you can see from this slide, we serve a lot of industries. In many, many ways, EDI is a bit of a horizontal solution, meaning that it not only works with one industry, but with multiple. The simplest way to summarize this slide, I would say, is two components. The first one is the second column because it's unique. We do have an automotive EDI specific solution, an automotive EDI specific team. And so if ever any of you basically play in that space, and we're talking here not just aftermarket, but we are talking supply chain, we have a specific team that will definitely be able to work with you, that understands OEMs, tier 1s, tier 2s, that understands release accounting, cumulative amounts, and all the important things of automotive EDI. Most of our customers are in this general space that I'll call retail and CPG, so retail and consumer packaged goods, including all of the micro verticals that go with it. And you have a few examples here. So apparel is one of them, or textile. You have anything that's health and beauty, cosmetics, definitely home furnishings. We do a lot of food and beverage, also in the UK, for example. We'll do some pharma more on the distribution side. So just a lot of industries that deal with retailers and anybody that sells to retailers or distributes to retailers as well. And so you get a bit of a sample here. And so if you yourself play in any of these industries, those are definitely some conversations we want to have, not only on the co-marketing side, but there's a lot of expertise that we can bring to you and to your customers in terms of EDI and supply chain management specifically. So if I summarize a little bit here, and I'm going to go through this relatively quickly. First of all, this is a sort of integrated EDI solution. And what we mean by integrated in this case is that we allow you to connect to any type of trading partner. So as I'll describe in a second, it could be retailers, suppliers, it could be marketplaces, it could be 3PL, so it could be order to cash, purchase to pay. Essentially what we want to do is really help you in making your supply chain more agile from a data standpoint. ERP integration is obvious, it's why we're here. But concretely, what ERP integration does is obviously it eliminates any kind of rekeying of data into the ERP. By default, what that will do is it'll allow you to make sure that that data is more accurate. It definitely increases speed, both on orders coming in, but also on invoices getting to your customers. If you think of invoices getting faster to your customers, that means you're getting paid quicker. So the list of advantages obviously goes on in terms of ERP integration. It's also fully managed, meaning that we've got the service that we overlay on top of it. That means that if you have questions or anything, you can always reach out to us. The solution is not only owned, but also operated by us from end to end. So that means that if there is a breakdown, we'll be able to find it right away. We don't have to reach out to a third party for it to find out what's going on. I mentioned we do have a lot of solutions for the retailers. So that means basically EDI pushed down to suppliers, so onboarding suppliers, solutions for small suppliers, for large suppliers, so being able to really cater to all the participants in a retailer's ecosystem. And a lot of our customers are suppliers that need EDI to be compliant with their trading partners. That's also a natural part of our business. I talked about automotive very quickly as an aside because it requires very specific expertise, and it's an expertise that we have in-house. One thing that's also interesting is that we not only connect to sort of your either online or brick and mortar retailers, is we do have solutions for our customers to connect to their smaller customers. So that's a possibility. We do have solutions also for our customers to connect to marketplaces. So anything around drop ship and specifically the marketplace model basically is also part of our network, and our SAP customers can benefit from it. I'll talk about this in a few seconds, but anything around e-invoicing and tax compliance is key and is just growing aggressively. And it is something that is on your customers and your prospects' mind. And so being able to address that when it comes up and actually preemptively is a big advantage. Lastly, we added API here because what we want to discuss is the fact that now our network is growing, and there used to be very traditional ways of connecting to companies, and that's evolving. API is an example. It's not new, obviously, but it's an example of this evolution. So as a business, we have an ability to connect to any kind of company out there, regardless of the way they're asking us to connect, and this is an example. This gives you in a nutshell what we do, overall as a company. This is a visual representation of it with your customer being here on the right, and with the integration to S/4HANA being connected to our TrueCommerce network. That TrueCommerce network incorporates everything you can think of in terms of mapping, in terms of routing, and so on. We give full visibility to our customers, or to you by default, on what is going on within the network, but we manage it. For some larger customers, there is a possibility for them to take on a little bit more, to manage a little bit more. And so that's definitely something we can discuss. On the left here, we have our trading partner network that I've discussed. So you've got a few examples of companies here in different industries and different retail models. And then lastly, at the bottom, you've got this concept of tax compliance, or simple e-invoicing, even if there is no tax compliance, where we basically have to connect to, in most cases, government agencies. And the way to connect is extremely different at the bottom than it is at the top. And it is even different within the companies. But for an SAP S4 user here, this is completely transparent. It's our job to make sure that we're connecting properly. It's your customer's job to basically work within S4, and we'll take care of all the complexity. And as mentioned, we are managing this completely, making sure documents are getting to destination. This is a little bit more on S4. Obviously, for any of you that would like this presentation, we're happy to share it, and we can even share the recording. But I think one way to summarize this is our solution is set up for any size company. It incorporates a lot of different document types, and it's growing, so it accommodates any business model. And the way we've developed this has been in complete sort of collaboration with SAP. And so that's very important for you as an SAP partner. It'll ensure that obviously everything works perfectly. Very quickly on e-invoicing and tax compliant. This is popping up everywhere. A lot of it in South America, but a lot of it in Europe. And we're seeing mandate. Mandate starts in January in Germany. The French mandate was pushed out a few years, but is definitely there. And you have a few other examples here. These mandates are all a little bit different. And so we have a team that keeps track of this and that follows this very closely so that our customers can be fully compliant. And then this doesn't just sort of limit itself to Europe. We have a lot of European customers that need to trade in Malaysia or in Peru or in different places and are looking for the same kind of e-invoicing or tax compliance, basically, solutions. And so that's an integral part of our solution. You've got sort of a few more examples here, and what we would like to offer, if this is something that's of interest, is for us to do a little bit of an assessment with you, where we take a look at potentially some of your customers' requirements, and to see and to tell them exactly what is coming down the pipeline in terms of where their subsidiaries are based, who they're selling to, and we can basically make sure that they're prepped for this, and so that they're ready when the actual legal requirement hits. And like I said, we have all that information. Okay, so now if you give me a second, what I will do here is I will actually turn this over. I've got a video that I'd like to show that my colleague Alan prepped for us. I will narrate it, but if any questions pop up, please do not hesitate to ask. Okay, so we're just going to start rolling it. So what you're seeing here is sort of a behind the scenes look. Okay, so this is our tool, Transaction Manager, behind the scenes. And what Alan did in this video is he grabbed a file to export it into S/4HANA Public Cloud. That file, it's very important. Basically, picture it came from a retailer to the TrueCommerce network. We translated that file in what I would call an SAP readable format. Our adapter then grabs that information and then imports it into S/4HANA Public Cloud. And what we're showing you is the step-by-step process of this. But obviously, with any EDI function you see here, as long as there are no specific errors or anything, exceptions that need to be managed, this can be fully automated. What you're also seeing here is when we integrate data into an ERP, some custom fields need to be added. So the SAP itself has its normal sort of templates. And depending on EDI requirements, we're going to go ahead and add some custom fields for inbound document and for outbound documents as well. That'll allow us to then complete the document. Once the document's integrated, then you are in your standard sort of ERP process, which is what Alan is showing here. And so that you could manage whether it's an EDI, the origin of the document is EDI, or whether it's a document that somebody on your team created from scratch. You'll then have to turn around and create some, the packing, the delivery information, and so on. That basically can be communicated to your warehouse, to eventually a third-party provider or whatnot. So that is basically standard work that is done whether it came from EDI or not. If ever when we import the document, we find a mistake, simple one would be product doesn't exist in your ERP database, maybe it's a duplicate order, our solution will flag that and send you an alert, and then you'll be able to take action for that. As I mentioned before, some of our customers fully automate this, and as long as there are no exceptions, they're fine. And some of our customers kind of go through a bit step by step like we did there to make sure that the process is as clean as it needs to be. Okay, so what I will do there, I'm just fast forwarding. The goal here of this video today is to give you a little bit of a flavor is what it is really. Because basically what we want to do is spend quite a bit of time going over the specifics of the solution with you and so on. So this is the continuation. At this point, we've created the delivery, and what we're showing you is the step-by-step of bringing that data into our basically environment. So in this case, in the adapter, and then we're going to go ahead and send that to a trading partner. These are steps that you don't have to do, obviously, if you're automating, if there are no exception to the process, but they are steps that you can do if you want to keep a closer eye on what's going on. And again, at any point, if you have questions or anything for us, you can always reach out to our team, and we'll gladly help. Once the document is sent, obviously it updates S4. And as you can see, the delivery here was successful. And so the next piece of work here would be to create the invoicing, which creating the invoice in itself is a standard ERP process. And obviously, once that invoice data is exported, it comes to TrueCommerce. We translate and we send off directly to the trading partner in exactly the format that they're looking for. Okay, and so this is what Alan is showing right now. So our goal here is to give you a little bit of a teaser, and what we would love to do, obviously, is to have a more specific and more comprehensive meeting with you, so that we can go over your specific requirements and what exactly it is that you're looking for. Okay. With that, what I'm going to do here is I'm just going to conclude this before we see if there are any questions. If you just give me a second. There you go. What I want to do is just kind of recap a little bit that our goal is to invest in you, essentially. And so we talked about some of the things that are important to our partners and what we focus on, but we would love to work with you on a social front, right? So announcement, resharing your content, giving you some content. We want to co-market with you as well. If we can generate business for you and for us, that's the best. We have a dedicated channel team. We've got a very strong sales engineering team as well to help. And we're always willing to do joint activities, to sponsor events. So we have budget dedicated to basically working with you specifically. So with that, this is what I had, Catherine. So potentially there might be some questions.
I can see some questions. So one is, what if our customer has both EDI and e-invoicing needs? Could you still help?
Absolutely. So very, very good question. And so that is one of the advantages of our solution, to be honest. You'll find in the market a lot of e-invoicing companies, and you'll find some EDI companies. We are one of the few that are not only able to accommodate both, but we can do so from a global standpoint and certainly from a pan-European standpoint. And so that is sort of a big advantage of our solution. Other things that we sort of add to the mix then is the integration to SAP S4 Public Cloud Edition, the network. When you start combining all of these things, we become very unique very fast. And so certainly accommodating a customer's need that has EDI and e-invoicing is part of what we do.
Okay, thank you. I hope this answered your question. If not, feel free to contact us directly if you need more details. I have one other question that asked, the current EDI company I've working with also offers an EDI module. Can you maybe explain what makes you different?
Sure, yeah, so a little bit of what I just answered, obviously, in the first question. On top of that, I think we probably want to define EDI modules. So as far as we know, for S4HANA Public Cloud Edition, when it comes to an end-to-end solution, we are the first to have a certified EDI adapter. There might be other ways, obviously, to import and export data, absolutely, but to have the certified adapter plus the network and the managed services on top, as far as we know, we're unique. And to be very honest, we keep a very close eye of what's going on in the market. So I would love to speak with the partner to understand more what their current solution is and to talk very honestly about the differentiators. So how we do things and how we do them better, essentially. Absolutely.
Okay, thanks, Jacques. Right now, I can't see any more questions, but for everybody in the audience, feel free to contact us. We're going to send a recording and the slides anyway once we have prepared it. And yeah, thank you, Jacques. Thank you, Alan. Thanks for everybody in the audience for joining us, and have a nice day.
Thank you.
Thank you.